Generally, most of the dogs in this world have an average lifespan of 10 to 13 years. But did you know that there's a breed that can live up to 20 years and is even holding a Guinness World of Records of being the oldest dog in the world? And the one on record is 21 years old now. That breed can sing too. And the breed is none other than Chihuahua. What is the origin of the Chihuahua and how did it come to this world? So, during the mid-19th century in the Mexican state of Chihuahua, this breed was noted. And the Chihuahua is thought to have been bred from the tequeque, a small mute dog that was kept by the Toltec people of Mexico back then in 9th century AD. Yeah. So let's take a rewind on their origin, the tequeque. The tequeque didn't bark at all. And it is uncertain if they actually knew how to bark. But considering how Chihuahuas are notorious barkers, it is kinda difficult to imagine they were bred from these mute dogs. Many would wonder why this breed was bred from. It is so surprising, but that is the reality. So, nearly every single dog breed we have today have been purposely bred for a job or a role in society. Might it be security, herding livestock, or companionship? And during this period, they were bred for 3 reasons. Though they are surprising, but that was the reality. So the Chihuahuas were bred as sacrificial dogs. So, as descendants of the Cherokee dog, Chihuahuas were popular among religious ceremonies and rites. Sadly, this means that Chihuahuas were sacrificed during sacred Toltec practices. Evidence suggests that the ancient Aztecs and Toltecs believed that these dogs guided the soul to the underworld after death. For this reason, the Tequeque dogs were often buried with their deceased family members and owners. The second one was for food. Most of the Western world have banned the consumption of dogs today. Luckily, even in other parts of the world where consuming dogs is illegal, it is considered taboo. However, this perception was not always the case around the world. Most of the Western world did not ban the consumption of eating dog meat until the early 1900s. Yeah. With that said, Chihuahuas were also bred to be food. In fact, about 10% of meat consumption of ancient Mayans came from their beloved dogs. It is hard to comprehend why these people decided to eat such a sacred pet, but some researchers believe that the civilization faced major food shortages and had to resort such consumption. Still, we have no conclusive evidence that can back this theory. The last one was it was bred from ex-companions. So besides being sacrificed and eaten, Chihuahuas were also popular companions for the families of the Toltec group. Even after all these years, they have remained some of the best dog companions all around the world. The people of the Toltec civilization lived in small homes around the crowded ocean. Because of this, keeping a small dog such as Tequeque was a perfect fit. When it comes to their appearance, they are really known for being the smallest dog in the world. So a fully grown Chihuahua weighs between 2 and 6 pounds and it reaches only about 5 inches in height. They have a domed skull, a short and pointed muzzles, big and round eyes, and large pricked up ears. Their tails are longish and carried up or over the back. There are 2 different coat varieties. One is short and smooth and the other is long and soft with fringed legs and ears. Their coat comes in many colors and patterns. While they like to run and play, they also love sitting curled up on their favorite human's lap. They make great city dogs and require a little grooming. One thing to keep in mind is that these small dogs are so fragile. They need to be treated with care and small children might be too rough and hurt the dog. They were bred to thrive in a warm climate and many dislike cold. They tend to seek out sunshine or burrow themselves down under the piles of blankets. These dogs are so clever and enthusiastic and usually have large personalities. So when it comes to their character and the goodness and their benefits, right, they are so alert and curious and busy all the time because of their activeness. They are adaptable to a wide variety of living conditions and they're also confident and self-reliant. Not forgetting this, They are also vigilant. It is a vigilant watchdog with a ready bark, and they don't need much exercises. Oh, mind you, it can sing too. Yeah, but just like other animals, they also have disadvantage and their bed size too. Right, so the first one is they are so fragile and easily injured due to their size, right? They're so small, and they also need frequent attention from family, and they are so bold and fearless. So this might be dangerous because they may attack even much larger dogs. They may have a tendency to bark excessively. Just like other animals, they are also prone to some of the diseases that I'm going to mention below. So as they are still puppies, they also got affected by this disease called hydrocephalus. Have you ever pet your Chihuahua and noticed a small soft spot on their head? That spot is called a molera. All Chihuahuas, like human babies, are born with this, but they usually close up by the time they are a year old. When a Chihuahua is born with too large of a molera, their skull may fill with spinal fluid that eventually surround their whole brain. This is known as hydrocephalus. That's the disease we are talking about. Chihuahuas suffering from hydrocephalus may have seizures, bad coordination, a swollen head, or a slew of other neurological symptoms. This is why it is important to visit your vet at the sign of illness. Unfortunately, hydrocephalus cannot be cured, but many Chihuahuas have lived long and had a happy lives with this condition. It is also followed by a disease called luxating patella. A luxating patella, also known as a patella luxation, is the dislocation of the kneecap. It is a hereditary disease that usually starts to present about 4 months after a puppy is born. A Chihuahua with luxating patella may limp or avoid using the affected leg completely. If it affects your dog's hind legs, you may notice it holding their hind legs in the air for several minutes at a time. This is to relax the affected legs, muscles, and ease their kneecaps back into place. Thankfully, patella luxation isn't very painful. Your pup will only be in pain when their kneecap first dislocates. Surgery is used to treat extreme cases for the patella luxation. Most of the time, your vet will just want to monitor the disease to keep track of any future complications. We also have this one called hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is the medical term for low blood sugar. So some people say, oh, animals don't have diabetes and other stuff. Oh, of course, that's a lie. So your dog may act weak, dizzy, disoriented, unusually drowsy, or even lose consciousness. Always take your Chihuahua to the vet right away if you suspect they are hypoglycemic. They could need a new diet or other measures to keep them healthy. Hypoglycemia can be a symptom of a large disease such as diabetes or liver disease, which only a veterinarian can diagnose. Make sure your Chihuahua is eating enough food throughout the day if they are prone to hypoglycemia. Missing 1 or 2 meals is enough for small breeds to suffer a drop in blood sugar levels, which can result in severe consequences such as seizures. Chihuahuas also have this problem of tooth and gum disease. All small breeds have naturally small mouths, predisposing them to overcrowded teeth that are hard to clean. When plaque and tartar build up, a dog develops gum disease as a result. Food gets trapped in Chihuahua's mouth daily, so it is important to brush their teeth thoroughly and often. Dental chews, toys, and snacks can help keep your Chihuahua's teeth clean between brushes. You can also provide them with natural chews to which, if they chew, will help keep the gums and teeth healthier. It will also have spinal injuries. A spinal injury can happen in the blink of an eye. Chihuahuas have such small frames that one mishap could spell the disaster. Spinal injuries and disease are almost entirely due to trauma in Chihuahuas. One such disease called intervertebral disc disease occurs when a spinal disc moves or slips out of the place. This disease oftentimes genetic and not the result of trauma. Generally, genetics. Yeah. Thankfully, doggy will wheelchairs and physical therapy can help management. Thankfully, dog wheelchairs and physical therapy can help manage any pain and mobility issues that arise following the injury. Keep an eye out of your furry friends, especially around the large groups of people and big dogs. Also, we have this one called obesity. Right, it doesn't only happen to people only. Of course, it is present in animals too. So spoiling our fur babies is hard to avoid, but in the long run, too much food and too many snacks lead to obesity. And obesity in Chihuahuas can cause joint problems, stress on the spine, difficult breathing, arthritis, and a shortened lifespan. Obesity contributes to many health problems, including high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, osteoarthritis, heart and respiratory diseases, orthopedic issues, and a decreased life expectancy. Overfeeding is a common culprit of obesity, as is limited exercises. So you have to consult with your veterinary about your Chihuahua's ideal weight, and also you have to mind about the diet. And what to do. Brush is cut as needed, at least weekly, to prevent myths and keep her coat shiny. Chihuahuas generally have good teeth, and you can keep them perfectly by brushing them at least twice a week. And also supervise your pet as you would do to a little child. Keep doors closed, pick up after yourself, and block off rooms as necessary. This will keep her out of troubles and away from objects she shouldn't put in her mouth. Clean her ears weekly, but do it carefully because you don't have to disturb the natural cleaning system of the ears. And also, Chihuahuas are very sensitive to cold, so a warm winter wardrobe is necessary. She's well suited for apartment living. She will need a daily walk and a regular inside play. Due to her assertive nature and small size, she's not recommended for homes with small children. Keep your dog's diet consistent and don't give her people food, right? Feed a highly quality diet appropriate for age, and exercise your dog regularly, but don't overdo it at first time.